Come on, lad, we've got some explaining to do. They all entered the kitchen. Betty had done Billy proud, set up his lovely tea. There were his cupcakes on a beautiful plate, his ginger beer. Mummy had even made butter curls, breadboard and a jar of jam. Mummy had made a Victoria sponge and used some of Billy's strawberry jam. The four sat discussing everything. Chuck, are you sure they won't go to the police? Betty, if you could see her. He won't report it. He'll be in trouble. That's the last you see of them, believe me. Thank you, Chuck. Billy's son, you do know that stealing's wrong. Yes, Dad. However, for a young'un, your perception of right and wrong is very grown up. Yes, George, but we still want Billy to realise stealing's wrong. George winked at his son. He's got it. Billy knows there's rules and laws which we have to abide by, live by, but life isn't like that. Sometimes things occur, like with the donkey, that we have to trust our gut feeling and inside what's right. Betty wasn't convinced. George wanted Bets to know that Billy got it. Billy, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, Dad. Well, can you explain to us in your words what you think we're saying? Okay. Billy thought for a minute. Oh, I know. Last Sunday at Sunday school, we were going over Matthew 12. Those horrible Pharisees people were accusing Jesus of evil and... Yes, Billy, but that's about Jesus. George touched Betty's hand warmly. Let him get there, love. Billy carried on. Well, they were saying it was bad to do stuff on a Sunday. Billy looked awkward, went red. He couldn't remember exactly what. Go on, lad. Chuck smiled. Well, anyway, Jesus asked them if they had a sheep and it fell in a pit on the Sabbath, would they not take it out and rescue it? Sometimes rules can be broken if it's for the right reason. It was awkwardly silent. Then George had tears in his eyes and he clapped. Billy, I knew you'd got it, lad. Betty got up, kissed her son on the head. Oh, Mum. Billy, did you ask Chuck? Billy's face reddened. No, not yet. Chuck was intrigued. Go on, son. George smiled at his son. Chuck, well, a couple of boys were talking at school about their uncles and, well, I thought, it just sounded how we are and Dad loves you like a brother. Can I please call you uncle? It was silent. Chuck's head was down. A tear dropped down from his face. Well, that's that then, Billy. You have your answer. George stood and put his hand on Chuck's shoulder. As George returned to his seat, he laughed. Well, Billy, for someone who didn't want publicity, they all laughed. Billy looked around the table. It was at this moment he realised, as he watched them all laughing and talking, that there's things happen in your life that will stay with you forever, and it's in these treasured moments we have to hold on to. Did you like that? The mighty tree asked. They all cheered. Some were wiping tears from their faces. Rex the fox had his paw up. Yes, Rex. What happened to Chestnut, please? Ah, well, Chuck had to delay his move for a further 2 weeks. True to his word, Billy helped every day after school and weekends. He even did jobs for neighbours to buy feed and culled fruit for the donkeys. He had a month with his friends. Chuck even gave Billy the honour of naming her. After much thought, Billy decided that the only name possible was Bonnie, because as she improved, she was of a bonny disposition. Lovely character. She was going to Scotland. Chuck called her a bonny lass. So bonny it was, a resounding thank you from all. We love you, mighty oak, they shouted. as they left for their homes. You're right, Pete Pete. Yes, I love you, Mighty Oak. I love you too. I know that was you. What was me? The phone call to Chuck, the horse box mistake. I know that was you. May I ask a question, please? Of course. I thought all children could talk to animals up to a certain age. Pete Pete, mostly you're right, but not children on farms. Why, sir? Pete Pete. It was his mummy. You're not bothering Mighty Oak, are you? No, he's not. What are farms for, Pete Pete? Well, for growing crops and for meat and... Oh, I see. So it would be too hard. Yes, Pete Pete, that's right. Oh, well, that makes sense, sir. Thank you, Mighty Oak. The mighty tree smiled to himself as he watched Pete Pete leave with his mummy. There goes a wise young man. That's the end of Bonnie's Rescue. Thank you for following. Bye.